start.
So hi guys, welcome to the presentation. So it's a project about Simcoe Student Housing, which is incorporated with CTN, which is called as Change the Now. So this organization is like fastly working on UNSDG. So our project is about UNSDG level sustainable cities and communities, which is focusing on Simcoe County location. So without further delay, let's get into the presentation. Next slide. So, well, the introduction. So, introduction of this project, it's like kind of a simple one, but a complex issue, which is right now going on in Simcoe County region, student exploitation in rental housing. So, there are a lot of students who can't afford the money which the landlords are expecting from them for a room, like a normal one. So, we're gonna talk about that. And the second one is the major thing which is faced by majority of the students before coming here because while back home in their own country they some of them might have a contact here, some may not. So those people, the people who belongs to the second category, they for sure referring the social medias such as Facebook, Kijiji, and other marketplaces. So in that space there are a lot of traditional scams happening, like they're getting money from them before even seeing the property. So, and for that, we're gonna get a solution. It's called website. So we're gonna create a domain for deeply analyzing or deeply talking about the issues which is prevailing around them, and they can just share their content as well. Like they can share the feedback of the stay which they did. So let's move on to the next slide.
So, talking about the organization profile of the Change the Now movement, so it was established by the Georgian College in collaboration with Ashoka Canada and Simcoe County District School Board. And the main focus of Change the Now movement is to address the UN SDG goal, um, along with the community partners and to address the issues of the UN SDGs. So in this, we are incorporating with the SDG11, and each team in this project is provided with a CTN mentor. So we are given the SDG11, and we are addressing the issue which are relevant to the housing problems. So I'll pass the slide to the next person.
So I'm going to talk about the visual analysis. Uh, Coming down to the political rules, governmental and environmental regulations and policies can have an impact on the development and real estate market in the Simcoe County. The economic climate can impact the demand for real estate, including job growth, inflation, interest rate, and economic policies. In 2021, the Canadian real estate industry demonstrated a 4.2% increase in the value, showcasing an enhanced performance. Next, moving on to the social factors. As the number of online media users is high, population number of counterfeit sites is also large in numbers. The lifestyle preference and consumer behavior is also a major impact. Next, moving on to the technological factors. Advancement in technology can have a major impact on the real estate industry, including the use of virtual tools, digital marketing, and smart home. Next, moving on to the legal factors. Real estate transactions are regulated by various laws and regulations, including land use policies, property tax, and zoning laws. And the environmental factors include have a significant impact on the real estate industry, including climate change, natural disasters, and sustainability concerns. Moving on to the next slide.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the industry trends. So around Simcoe County in Barrie is ranked one of the most expensive cities in Canada right now. The reason being because there are more immigrants coming into the country and more people choose Barrie as a new home. Barrie is expected, but the good news is in Barrie by 30% of the rental or the housing market is going to fall by end of 2023. The predictions, if everything plays out well. Even though Canada is high on inflation right now, but the Bank of Canada prefers to bring down the inflation by 2%, which will slow down a lot of cost for the people. And also talking about the infrastructure in Barrie is really good, and it's known as to be one of the better ones compared to other cities in Canada right now. The main street, and street, which is taken for years to build, right now is going to set to complete in July 2023. And the government has taken some regulations, like in since COVID pandemic, every landlord only can increase the rent 2.5% every year by and even if there is an increase in the rent, the landlord should give 3 months notice before increasing the rent. Next, moving to Blessing again.
So talking about the customer profile, we interviewed three persons for our project, and they all had different views on the housing they are looking for. Like they had their own priorities, like some may needed private rooms, some may had a pet, so they needed a pet friendly home. So most of them were students and like looking for a budget of around 550 to 600 Canadian dollars. So moving on to the next slide.
Talking about the market research right now. So according to StatCan Canada, which is a statistics done by the government of Canada, the population of Barrie right now is 147,000, almost close to 150,000. This is only counting the citizens and permanent residents inside Barrie. There is no there is no counting of population coming as a newly immigrant or an international student or anyone as a refugee, but only as permanent residents or an immigrant. In Barrie right now, there are 32,000 people living in single detached homes and 2,355 people living in semi-detached homes. And all of them at least have 15,000 couples have one child. The median income in Barrie is $108,000. After taxes, it averages around $94,000, which is a livable income, but not so much in this day and age. Moving on to the next slide.
So, talking about the social media analysis, so this is the rough and forecasted chart of the social media analysis. So most of the data was collected from the newcomers, the international students, or the co-workers who came here in Canada, especially in the Simcoe County, as we are talking about, as an international student. But apart from this, uh, if we those students search about the rental rooms from the Facebook's marketplace, and also the app named Fiji and even Kijiji also, but due to scam and website scam, they are shifting to the Simcoe housing websites in order to ensure their security. So now I will pass the slide to the next person.
Okay. So while researching, we came across a few findings. So one of them, the topics that we want to cover is the international students exploitation that we understood till now. The main factors that we consider while understanding the exploitation was the rent. Right now, the costliest rent or the on that factor we determine. The second point was the major factor through which we can determine the exploitation was the facilities that are mentioned in websites and are not provided. Then comes the exposing the scammers. These are generally through websites, and there are tons of fake websites offering properties and asking to pay for it. So we want to bring awareness about it in front of students. Then comes the government assistance, like government introducing a $500 for families and individuals living in Canada to help pay rent. Then comes the like Ontario rental rights, which are the state-run, state level. It's a special code which we want everyone to be aware about, like the points that this rights ask for us, like the credit checks. There are some certain criteria and the demands, some rental histories if required. So these are some few points about the Ontario rental rights, some code of conduct, and then comes the Canada New Housing Benefits. This program helps people anywhere in Ontario by paying the difference between 30% of household income and the average market rent in the area. Then moving on to the next slide, which discuss about the ideas. So to make sure these findings uh, get reached to every person, we uh, we are proposing few points, like joining podcasters. We want to start incorporating a project with podcasters so that we can so that we can spread this awareness. We can spread this awareness. Yeah. Then comes we want to collaborate with the Georgian College as a is student easy platform to get authentic information. Then comes the creating a website, a personalized website to talk about rental problem. This will be a solid platform. We will discuss more about it in the next slide about the website. So we want every student and the individual, a newcomer, to give their feedback in this website, allowing them to express their opinion, how they feel about the rent, what they have been charged. It will also facilitate to talk about the transportation, hospitalities, malls nearby. Then also it can explain the rental scams if they have experienced before, or also the details about the websites, like if their relatives have experienced such kind of scams. So there's a platform that we want to introduce. Then coming on to the next slide, Sri can take over.
So finally, guys, we are on the final slide. So I would like to conclude this big scale project within few minutes, like right now. So this is gonna be a feasible and viable project for all of them, like not only the students who are taking the rent as a big part in their life here, but also for the landlords. And at this point of time, I would like to thank all the key finders, like who helped to explore more data in this project. And I would like to personally thank Change and Now team and Joanna Fox for giving a big project like this to handle out. And as we talked so many things about this project, the three main important factors are to create a unique website for students and the landlords to interact with each other. In that way, they can change their perspective, like by giving feedbacks, like this has to be changed and this should not change. And the second thing is like exposing the scammers. All these things can be done in the website itself. So if a student is coming across a fake website, he can post the same thing in a picturized way or in a detailed way. In that way, the other student won't get into that stuff. And finally, the sustainable cities and communities, like the main project scope is to provide affordable housing. So as long as this project is dragging up to the next level, we would include that. So that's all it from me and my team. So thanks for listening to the presentation and have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.